We've got a
situation.
Hi guys, Alex here, and today we've got a doozy. So today we are going to react to Amy's Life Journey's newest video called Was I a Bad Child? And I am super excited. This video really caught my eye because of that fabulous mohawk wig she was wearing right on top of her hijab. So let's hear her out. Let's see what she has to say before we make any preconceived notions. Let's just get right into it. I mean, shall we?
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel as well. If you haven't already done so, would you ever so kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification?
Would you guys ever so kindly go and hit that subscribe button? Turn on those bell notifications, you guys.
Bell so you get notified every time when I upload it. Also when I go live. Don't want to miss my lives.
I just can't get over the fact, and I think I've said this in many of my reactions before, she just reminds me, and even more and more, of this old manager I used to have when I was working at Panera Bread. She was sugary sweet with customers, and she was sugary sweet with employees as well, until you did one thing to step out of line, and then she would snap like a twig, and it was scary.
Popping. I was sitting around earlier this morning and I was thinking back to like my childhood, and I was thinking about different stories that, you know, I would love to share with, you know, my children, but not just my children, but my grandchildren, and, you know, they can share with their grandchildren, and the legacy will continue to move on throughout, you know, the generations that continue to grow from, you know, me and my husband and our children and so on and so forth. And, you know, I had to kind of laugh because
I've heard that her childhood, she said so herself, that she didn't have the greatest childhood growing up, and I would hate to see that cycle continue. That's a really serious thing and something that happens way too often. You can break the cycle, Amy.
You know, they always say there's always that black sheep in the family, or, you know, the bad to the bone child, whatever it is, and, you know, or the rebel child. And so I sat there today as I was thinking, I was like, am I the rebel child? Am I the one that is the one that you would think would, you know, be that naughty girl, the one that was always getting into trouble? I was thinking back to,
I feel like I could sometimes be considered the bad child. I mean, I was relatively well behaved until like high school, I guess.
a story that I was told when I was a baby. I was in a car seat. You know, my mother had put me into a baby car seat in a car, and my brother is 3 years older than I was, or than I am, and I don't know, he must have gotten out of his car seat or something to that effect. And in those days, this is back in the early 80s.
You know, this is a classic trolling technique when someone puts on something strange, and she's done it before with the way that she did her makeup that one day. I don't believe that she is just that bad at makeup. I think that was just a trolling technique, and we've seen it before.
The ignitions were the, you know, the joy, not the ones like this, but, you know, the ignition that you pull down. Well, anyways.
Well, Alex, she's probably just having fun with her channel. I know, but why doesn't she address it at all?
My mom had started the car and had went into the house for something, I don't know, just grabbed something really quick, and when she came back, the car was gone. Well, my brother had hopped over the seat and threw the car into reverse, and there goes me and my brother down the hill while my brother's in the driver's seat just steering away, and we're heading down the hill to the next house, going straight down. And you know, we made it, we're alive.
I've heard this exact same story from somebody else, which is interesting. Have you guys ever hopped over and just started driving your parents' car into reverse when you were a young child? It sounds like a bad dream.
But, you know, you have to laugh sometimes at the stupidest things that you did as a child and ask yourself, like, how did I ever survive? How am I alive today to tell the stories to my children and their children so that my legacy continues to go on throughout life? And there was a time when...
That was deep. That was surprisingly deep.
We were living next to a butcher. I was 4, and the house that we lived in, the house next door, the guy was a butcher. And I don't know why, to this day, I still would never, I don't think ever be able to answer why. When he would get home from work, he would take his butcher knives out and toss them outside his car on the side of of his house. Well, just
without any awareness of if anyone was right outside. Don't exactly want to catch a butcher knife with your bare hands, do you?
Happened that one day, me and my little hoodlums, my hoodlum friends, my homies, whatever you want to call them, we were, you know, running around the hood of our neighborhood, and leave it to me to be the one to grab one of the butcher knives. And my friends were all standing around as a circle, and they were all screaming, "Dig it in!"
I don't know about you guys, but she doesn't exactly scream "product of the hood" to me. I don't know. Maybe that's a falsity. Maybe I'm just making assumptions. But I just don't get that vibe.
I'll never forget this. And this is when I was 4. And I remember this to this day as if it just happened yesterday. And they were screaming, "Dig it in the dirt, dig it in the dirt." So here I am digging it in the dirt. Well, oops, I missed the dirt and I got my foot. So here I go and I stab my foot. I'll never forget the screechy scream that I let out. My mom comes running out of the house. She runs me to the bathroom. She's cleaning the blood. There's this neighbor lady that had run into the house with my mom.
Is she saying that she was kicking a butcher knife with her bare foot? Is that what we're saying? I'm not sure quite exactly. I mean, it's hard enough to understand her when she's talking in her regular speed, but the sped up it's more tolerable, to be honest.
Like, I do remember there was tons of people in the house, and I'm screaming. My mom's like frantically trying to wash my foot to find out how bad the cut was. This lady is standing outside our bathroom door just yelling at my mother. My mom turns around and is like, "Could you just shut up? Shut up, I'm taking care of the situation." Oh my God.
Who is this lady that's in your home screaming at your mother?
I will never ever forget this. Finally, my mom cleared out the house, got everybody gone, wraps my foot up, puts me on the end of the couch. She's waiting for her husband to get home so that they could take me to the hospital to see if it needed, you know, if my foot needed stitches or what it needed to have happen. So I'm sitting there on the, you know, laying on the side of the couch. My mom goes back to getting things together, ready to go. And
I think we've all hurt ourselves when we were little kids. I actually have like a scar on my ear. I can feel it, but I don't think you can actually see it. I took scissors and just cut my earlobe half off. But it was fine.
Then about 15 to 20 minutes later, we hear the streakiest scream from my brother outside the front of the house.
Now
well,
what?
Now mind you, he was 3 years older than I was. So if I was 4, he was 7, almost 8. And he had a knife, and he was trying to cut his rubber handlebars off of his bicycle, and he slipped, and oopsie, there went the knife all the way up his thumb. To this day, we both have our scars. It just so happened that it all happened all in the same day. I stabbed my foot.
Yeah, who is this butcher man who is providing these children with knives? I feel like this butcher man is very irresponsible. You can't let a children play with knives, can you?
Brother stabbed his thumb. So finally my mom's husband gets home. We load both of us up into the truck. We go to the hospital. DHS is called. They come out to the hospital to question me, my brother, of course my mom, because there's 2 children, of course, with stab wounds from the same home, from the same family, with like within a 15-minute span of each other's wounds like happening. How is this even possible?
Now I'm kind of like invested. I want to know if they got this stabby butcher or what.
Well, once the stories were told, then it was a very understandable thing. But, you know, I want my children to look back and think of, you know, when they were a child, what are the stories that they're going to share with their children? And I don't want them to only have negative feedback because that's all that they know or that's all that they've been, you know, surrounded around. And, you know, something that I vowed to myself today and I'm going to be really working on very, very hard is communication. And I think I have a very hard time communicating. I think I jumped to a screaming match immediately because I think that that's the only way that
actually means a lot to me that she would say that, because that seems to be the root of the problem. She's not sure what her children need. I don't want to speak on her as a parent in that way, because we don't know exactly what goes on behind closed doors. We've seen little glimpses of it, and of course it did not look good at all. But the fact that she says she wants to work on communication is definitely important. And obviously it doesn't condone what she did in the past.
To be heard. And I know that that's not the right way to do things. I know that it's not. And I'm not just saying with my children. It's just I yell at anything that, you know, or I raise my voice, you know, at something.
We saw that, like, she raised her voice immediately when her video was interrupted. I think she definitely needs to take a look at that and get her priorities straight. I mean, YouTube is fun. Obviously, I love doing it, but it does not take precedence over the more important matters. Like for me, that's, therapy or friends or getting in touch with people that I need to email back for work and other things. Like, you have to think about that because there's going to be time in the day to film. Of course, you can always film at, 9 o'clock after you put the kids down to go to sleep. That's always a great time to film.
I don't feel heard. It's like I just go from here to there, and I don't really try and communicate first before I even start getting aggravated or escalate to something a little bit more.
And we got to put the spoon away, girl.
It escalates from 0 to me being really loud. And, I don't want to say I was taught to yell because I wasn't. Pretty much all my families weren't yellers. I really don't know when I started being a yeller. I really don't. But I will say that, as a child, I was a harder child to handle. I was, I had some learning disabilities that, it took more times for people to, to like repeat things for me to understand it. It's embarrassing. It's not something that I want to just share with everybody, but I think that it's the right time to because I think at this point it's been a comment that has been made so many times, but
we can tell that I can tell that it's out of frustration, and obviously stress levels are high when you have children that are that young. And Amy claims she's in therapy. We don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that she is addressing that with her therapist.
I was younger. Okay, first of all, I did make a comment before that I was not sent to school, and that is the truth. I was not sent to school. My parent
see, that's a big problem, and that is what's going to get CPS's attention probably faster than any other thing, is if you're not showing up to school.
With addiction, and the addiction became overpowering and took control over her life, and so she was not available, like she wasn't physically available to send me to school, so I just didn't go. Once I got to school and I started going to school on a regular basis, they put me on an IEP. I was having speech classes because I was very behind in, like speaking, because I didn't ever talk. Like I didn't really start like seriously talking until I was well into being almost 5 years old, because nobody talked to me. I always was by myself, it was just me and my brother. And my brother was kind of doing his own thing, because, well, he's only 3 years older than me. It's not like he knew what to do with me. So I found myself really pretty much at 5 taking care of myself. So when people sit there and make fun of me because of my speaking, I just wish that people would know the situation, to know why. It's like, I taught myself a lot of what I do. I've taught myself, when it comes to even driving. I had to teach myself. I didn't have anybody to
I have made fun of her speech in the past, and to be honest, I thought that she was just copying Amberlynn, to be honest with you guys. And I think that's where a lot of these channels, well, me included, we think about Amberlynn and what she's done and kind of put that on other people in a way, or it just makes us jaded in a way. And I have to say, it does kind of do that to me as well. But I like that she's open and honest about where her speech problem is from.
There and teach me how to drive. I didn't have people there to teach me how to do lots of things. Lots of things I did alone, and I had to walk alone and do it. So it's frustrating at times when I sit there and I think to myself, what do I want to leave behind as a legacy for my children, when I'm so stuck in this rabbit hole that I've been trying to climb out of proving the person that I want to be seen for, but people just aren't going to see it because all they see is the black sheep, the rebel, the bad person, the negative person. And I'm not that person. I'm far from that person. People just don't see that person because they want to see the bad person. And that's unfortunate. But,
people saw the clips that you put up on your own channel, and that's obviously where the most of the negativity is coming from at this point, is the way that you spoke to your child and the spank.
I just wish people would give me more of a chance to prove myself, but it is what it is. That's all I can say. That is really where it's at. It is what it is. I
think this is a step in the right direction. I did see that Amy is putting up a call for a Q&A on her community tab, which, you know, if she's honest, perhaps it could sway public opinion. I mean, we're pretty deep in the hole right now, you guys, so I'm not exactly sure what would take her out of that.
People will, you know, give me a chance and let me come back from whatever it is that, you know, I know what's made you guys angry. I'm not stupid. I know. And I just wish that people would give me a chance, you know, give me a chance. I wish people would let me prove to you all that I am not this person that you guys see me as. You know, I'm not going to blame anybody for anything, but I will say I came up from a very hard life, and, you know, I am doing the best that I can do. And I feel like I have come a very long way from where I could have been. You know, I could have chosen a different life path, but I didn't. I have chosen to face life head on and not.
I don't think that much progress is being seen. And the thing on her head, the wig, you guys, not anything else. The wig on top of her head is not exactly helping me take her seriously right now. It's just not.
Numb out with drugs and alcohol. You know, I am in counseling because I want to become a better, stronger person and learn to navigate life and do things in life and be a good person, you know, and be a good mother and be a good wife and be a good friend, be a good anything that I put myself to. But I just don't know what I can do, if there is anything I can do to come back from what some of you guys have said about me, to show you guys differently. So anyways, that's what I have to say today.
And, you know, she didn't help her case. She did address the child allegations, the mistreatment allegations, and we just don't really see much different. But it is hard because we can't see into her home at all times, right? And the fact that she came on and was so smug about everything really didn't help her case either.
I really am not a rebel. I'm really not a black sheep. I'm not somebody, I'm not a headbanger. I'm not one of those. I'm really not. I really do have a good heart, and I wish more people would see that. Anyways, all right, I'm going to close. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys again real soon. Bye-bye, you guys.
I don't know. What do you guys think? This video did give me a little bit different perspective on what she's going through and, you know, what she had to deal with growing up. I remain skeptical. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.